Minister, as you're aware, the IDA this year had a record-breaking year in terms of job creation, and that there was a net figure of almost 6,000 jobs created. Look, it's not the first time you will have heard somebody from Waterford try and hold the IDA to account, and it won't be the last, because unfortunately, for all the good that's in this report, it has very poor reading for the region of the South East, the only region in the country to see a decline, and a marked decline in terms of job creation through IDA initiatives. It actually saw a drop of 8.2%, which translates to in excess of 1,000 jobs. And 1,000 jobs in a city like Waterford and in the region of the South East is nothing to be scoffed at, when we have an unemployment rate now at 20%. And there's been a lot of talk and rhetoric about this high unemployment rate in the South East. But the reality is there are people and families behind these figures who increasingly are finding it difficult to make ends meet. And Minister, what I really want to know, and I have asked the same of the IDA, is, are exit interviews being conducted with prospective investors? What is it that Waterford and the South East is lacking, other regions seem to have in abundance? And if exit interviews are not being conducted, why not? And can we develop a policy to ensure, as a government, we have the information that we need to make the best decisions, to ensure something that both parties promised in the run-up to the election of balanced regional development?
Minister. 4 minutes.
First of all, I'd like to thank Deputy Conway for raising this. I mean, she is right. IDA have had a record year this year, and last year, as you say, 13,000 jobs and a net expansion of 6,000. So it was the highest job creation in a decade and the lowest rate of job loss in a decade. And that pattern is being continued into the first half of this year. But you're also right in saying that the South East is an area that has not been sharing in that success. And, you know, there's a number of responses necessary to try and reverse this. Part of the problem, I suppose, is the pattern of IDA gains in recent times has seen a move towards you know, very high-end types of project, and that has favoured the really large cities with, you know, very deep labour pools, very strong and established centres. And you know, that has favoured undoubtedly, you know, Cork, Dublin and Galway, and I suppose they have built bases in some clusters and they are seeing the product of that. They act as magnets. I think the challenge for us in Waterford is to seek to rebuild, to build an equivalent cluster of strength, and obviously to build that around the existing base within Waterford. I mean, as you know, I've established a South East Action Plan in recognition of the particular structural problems that are there. And we have got in around the table all of the key agencies, including the local authorities, the WIT, and it is a question of looking at where are the competitive strengths and how do we build those. And I think we had a very successful review meeting there recently, where a number of sectoral opportunities are now going to be focused on, and we seek to develop those. To be fair, WIT, I think, has a really strong base in technology across a range: telecommunications, pharmaceutical, ICT. There are really strong base there for us to build upon. Obviously, the other thing is I have given a direction to our agencies to give renewed emphasis to the South East, and one of the products of that, I suppose, is that in the last, so far this year, the number of site visits to the South East have doubled. And Enterprise Ireland obviously has had a competitive for new startups, and I attended one of the sessions with those 20 individuals who'd been successful in, responding to a competitive start fund, and Enterprise Ireland now is working intensively with those as potential new starts and hopefully high potential startups. There's no doubt that regional spread is going to be an increasing challenge because of the sort of companies that IDA is winning. But to try and spread and achieve a greater regional spread, one of the things that the IDA has done is that now targeting emerging companies. And if you like, it's not just the iconic names, now looking at companies who are looking at their very first move out of, say, the United States to come to Ireland. We've had 11 of those so far, and I think they are going to be much better I suppose, prospects for getting regional spread. The other initiative is Connect Ireland, which, as you know, is being conducted with the assistance of a company based in the southeast, which is aiming to use the diaspora, anyone with connections, to attract companies to consider Ireland. There's over 200,000 companies who come to Europe each year, and most of them wouldn't have Ireland on their radar because IDA wouldn't be, working at that level. Like just an impressive example, recently 3,500 Irish accountants are working in multinationals across the United States. It's a huge, group of people that we can, if you like, use as ambassadors. So I suppose we have set a target for IDA of the 50% outside of Dublin and Cork. They didn't come anywhere near it in 2011. It was only 28%. This year so far, we're showing much better. It's closer to the 50% target, not quite at it. But I'd have to admit that the Southeast continues to be a challenge. We're working on it. We will continue. We've had a 6-month review. We will continue to have those meetings. We set out targets that we seek to achieve, and we're looking obviously at what has why are companies leaving. By and large, it's not always a great guide. It's not that Waterford is doing something wrong. Companies reach the end of their cycle, or some things happen that are often, I'm not sure that looking at those who are leaving is the best source of information. We're trying to look at the competitive strengths of the region and build on those. But I will ask IDA to look, is there a pattern to the companies who have left in the last 2 years to see, is there, is there a diagnostic from that we could build off based on what you're suggesting? But maybe let Deputy back in.
Deputy, do you want to come back there?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your response, Minister. I think you misunderstood me. What I was actually asking is those, because I welcome the fact that there has been an increase, and a notable increase, in the amounts of companies that have come to visit. But I'm wondering, are questions asked when they don't choose Waterford, prospective investors, rather than why people are leaving? I can understand that there are often, issues outside of I suppose in the macroeconomic issues that can impact on a company's decision to move or whatever. But my issue is in relation to, okay, we have seen a huge increase in the number of site visits to Waterford from the IDA, but that hasn't yielded any results. And with the greatest respect, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And we need to know why they're not drinking, because we need a significant investment in employment in Waterford and in the southeast as a region. And I just want to also say that there were some positives from the IDA's report in relation to Waterford and Bosch and Lom and their investment in the continued production and the loyalty that company have shown to the city over the years, as well as Genzyme making a very significant investment. And just 2 weeks ago, myself and some of the other Oireachtas members visited GSK in Dungarvan, who employ 700 people. And what I would say to you, Minister, is that the companies that are in Waterford as well need to be brought into the fold in terms of trade missions, so that they can drum up more business for themselves and maybe expand and secure and hold on to the jobs that we already have in Waterford. And I think that would be a really important part of the South East's task force, to ensure that those that are there remain. Thank you.
Yeah, well, no, I take the point. I mean, I will ask exactly that be done, that we look at why companies ultimately, if they chose elsewhere. Very often it's Ireland competing. It's not Waterford competing with Limerick. It's Ireland competing with Scotland, or Waterford, if Waterford is the preferred location, competing. I suppose the issues are around what a lot of these companies are now looking for. As I said, it is around ICT skills, language skills. Those are the things that tend to probably be, there may not be the same depth of skill base in Waterford compared to some of the competing locations. But in other areas, like, as you say, Genzyme with the pharmaceutical, and we do use established companies as the main reference sale. It is people who've been successful in a region who become the reference sale. And to be fair, Aishtech, which replaced TalkTalk, it now I think is in a class of its own. It may be an Irish-owned company, but it is a really quality company that I'd be really optimistic about their prospects, and I think they will be in the future a really good reference point. So we will, on foot of your own suggestion, look at the visits that don't succeed, and is there a pattern to those? But many of these there are structural problems, and you know them as well. There's been a lot of issues, some of the infrastructural, some around the knowledge infrastructure, if you like, and there are a number of things that enterprise policy alone can't address. And I think that was recognised in the South East Action Plan, that there are we need to look at other elements of the development of the region than simply what we can do within enterprise policy. But I will take note of what you say. We'll use that to see, can we analyse more closely what items maybe we could try to tweak in our promotion. But I just could reassure you of our continuing commitment. It is, we recognise that this is an area where we haven't been as successful as we would like to be, and we will continue to persist.
Thank you.